best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The best day of my life, best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Best day of my life, best day of my life. Watch it shimmer, all the glitter turns to gold. What a picture, see the future now unfold. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life, living the best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The best day of my life, best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Best day of my life, best day of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
New day coming, got my soul running. Look to bluer skies. Heartbeat drumming, got my blood humming. Feels like I'm a fly. I'm ready for it. I see the clouds breaking over my head, ground shaking under my feet. I got the sun shining on every step, dancing down every street. Yeah, it feels good to be me. Yeah, it feels good to be me. It feels good to be me. Ain't no worries, I don't gotta hurry. Kiss those cares goodbye. Hello, freedom, live what I'm dreaming. On a time to be alive. Get ready for it. I see the clouds breaking over my head, ground shaking under my feet. I got the sun shining on every step, dancing down every street. Yeah, it feels good to be me. Yeah, it feels good to be me. Get free, free, do what you do, run and be what you please. Get free, free, move and move, run and be what you please. Get free, free, do what you do, run and be what you please. Get free, free, move and move, run and be what you please. I see the clouds breaking over my head, ground shaking under my feet. I got the sun shining on every step,
house, wherever. Everybody, how's everyone doing today? Woo! I don't know where this camera is. We gotta figure this out.
What's happening right now?
Yeah,
Where's
yeah,
the
yeah.
camera?
Welcome to our
Alright.
team meeting, my friends. We're almost at the end of March. We're almost in spring. This is exciting, Jen.
It is exciting. I think that it is the first day of spring was yesterday. I'm pretty sure, Gary.
Thank you for everyone fixing that for me. Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah.
I only know because of Facebook. So
Okay,
it's fine.
excellent, excellent, excellent. My friends, we got lots going on today. If you're not here, that means you're not eating pizza. So that's what I know. That's all I smell right now.
I know, it
It's
smells
good.
so good too. I'm starving.
Yeah, me too. Mine's right there. So
Yeah.
we got to hurry up. My friends, we got lots going on today. We got a guest speaker all the way from Utah. So he's going to be sharing with us about what we is that my alarm? Am I going? Okay. What we already know, and in a sense, why aren't we doing it to produce the life that we want? Abe and Colin's going to introduce Abe. I don't know how deep you're going to get into the story with Abe, Colin. Maybe that's for another time. But the way we met Abe is,
It's pretty classic.
it's classic Gary and Colin. That's all I
yeah.
got to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And of course, we're going to welcome some new agents to our office here, and lots of good things going on in the market right now. One of the conversations that came up in one of the chat groups, Jen, was all about pulling title and making sure that there's enough equity, not only to pay out mortgages, but to pay out everything, and also to set our clients up for future success. And I'm going to share with you how we do that type of thing, Jen. All sorts of great stuff. Okay, so let's get into this. And yeah, there's our agenda. Of course, our broker update. And I should mention, Jen, that we are putting together, and Jonathan's worked incredibly hard on. And as everyone knows, we have to provide our services to our clients.
Yeah.
And Jonathan's worked on that both from a listing perspective as well as a buying perspective. And this is one of those moments where we have an opportunity to stand out from the crowd even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And having it just plug and play, right? Like making it simple for our agents, accessible. It's a base template. You can edit it and tweak it to match your business and your needs. But the basics of what we should all be doing for any given transaction and for any client type should be encompassed in that list. So,
Yeah. And Jonathan will get into this in detail. This is a template that needs to be edited to focus on your business. However, this is a good baseline to start with. Of course, we got Nicole here with our mortgage update. And yeah, I mentioned liens and pulling title. I don't know, I like rhyming words. I came up with liens and means. Nicole's laughing at me like, you're such an idiot, Gary. That's okay. We're good. We like me. Or I like me.
We like it.
Okay, Jen, we've had some agents join us. Who are they?
We got David Ellie is coming over and bringing his team with him, and Cameron Sellers and Shauna Manger.
Excellent, excellent. I love that last name, Sellers. I don't need to say anything more. Cameron, that's good, that's
The
good.
poor guy has heard that line like 3 times. Dylan said it to him, then Mike said it to him in coaching, and now Gary's done it publicly. So it's locked in.
There's more to come. There's more to come.
Yeah, he's
And-
got to just live with that now.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And share with us about our cappers as well.
Yeah.
Troy, Adam, Leanne, why is it so important to acknowledge our cappers?
Well, first of all, it's important to acknowledge them because not everybody caps every year, and it is a significant goal and achievement. And I know, and Troy, you're in the room, I'm going to look at you for a second. I know how hard you work every year, and to see the result of that is a huge thing to celebrate and to acknowledge. And it's also 100% commission, so you get to enjoy that for the rest of the year, too.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so we got something to announce. This
We
is all
do.
you, so let's
Yes.
get to it. Talk to us and remind us what the referral contest was, and of course we got a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys know for the last year, which is insane that it's been a year, we've been running this referral contest. We've been tracking the referrals, we've been tracking appointments, we've been tracking agents that have joined from the referrals and distributing points based on who was giving those agents to myself and then what that looked like going forward. And I'm super excited to announce, I feel like we need some music or
I know.
drum roll. This is
hang on,
so
hang on,
unlike
hang on.
you, Gary.
I know. I'm looking. I can't even see my computer. Hang on, I got something good here. Do I?
Let's
No, I don't
go.
even know what I got. I don't even know. I don't even know what
Pick
this is.
something. Let's.
A party.
all right.
That was terrible. That was terrible. But we've got people clapping already.
Okay, so we are super excited to announce the contest ended on February 29th, and the prize was a $10,000 travel voucher for the person and their family, whoever they wanted to take, anywhere they wanted to go. And our winner is
Drum roll. There we
Dina
go.
Medeiros. Let's go, Dina. Woo! And it's been so fun. She's been on just focused on it. She committed to it, made it happen. There's a few times she's like, "What do I need to do?" I'm like, "Just send me more names. Just keep making it happen." So she did. So very excited for her and her family to head away and do their thing.
That's
Congrats,
great.
Dina.
Yeah, well done, Dina. And we want people to love KWRC the way you and I do, Colin does, Megan does, and everyone else here in the room. And I likened it to this. When you go to a great restaurant, you share about that experience. It was so great. The food was great, and it's similar to where we work, right? And KWRC is so great. And if we feel that, we truly do feel that, we got to share that. Share that with our co-op agents. Share that with our colleagues.
Yeah.
And I get more notes and emails from agents outside our office to say it was so nice to work with so and so because of the culture and everything that we have here. And we want to continue to grow that, Jen.
Yeah, and the agents notice you guys as well, right? Like when I'm making my calls and I say I'm from KW, people say, "Oh, is that where I know Michael Volpe, or I know Colin, or I know the Silvernagels." I hear your names regularly. Like people recognize us in the market. So if you're not sure of that, like I just want to make that clear. Like people know who we are and they see the work that we're doing, and it's okay to reach out and have that conversation.
Yeah, you said something important there. People know who we are. More importantly, people know who you are, right? And continue to use that as a leverage to gain business, to create opportunities for yourselves. Excellent, excellent. Good stuff. Okay, remind us about this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, project referral. I know some of our agents are taking advantage of this. It is optional, of course, but this is the program we rolled out with Sandra at the front desk in Aurora. Whenever we have a deal that goes firm, she is going to call the seller or the buyer, whoever our client is, congratulate them on the deal firming up, talk to them a little bit about their experience, and then ask them for a referral for the agent from our brokerage that was part of that transaction. So for some of us, we do that as part of our business, and it's automatic, and you don't need to participate. For others, it's something you keep forgetting to do, and we can help you get that one extra deal for the year or two extra deals because Sandra made one phone call. Then we're going to do that for you. So as you have deals closed, you're going to get a call from her. She's going to ask you if you'd like to participate. She can read you the script if you would like to hear that first of what she's going to say. And once you sign up, then for your deals going forward, she will continuously make those calls. You can also flag deals and say, you know what, don't call that person. I don't want that reach out if that's a scenario that occurs. So super flexible, but the goal being, how can we help you get more business?
I love it. I love it. And this provides such more opportunity to you in growing your business moving forward. And it also provides for those that don't have the means or the opportunity at this moment to hire an assistant or someone to do it for you. This is a great way to leverage the team that's around you, right? And leverage the systems and the tools and the teams that we provide, for sure. Okay, good stuff. Talk to us about our events coming up, like the one tomorrow night.
Like the one tomorrow night. I hope you all guys know we have our awards gala happening tomorrow night. Super excited about that. It's going to be an awesome event. We've got a lot of fun stuff. And most importantly, we're going to spend time to acknowledge and celebrate the success that all of you had over the past 12 months. Very tumultuous year, very challenging year for a lot of people, and yet we still had agents show up and just achieve new standards and grow their business. And we just want to say thank you to everyone who's helped us grow as a brokerage as well. So tomorrow night at the Royal Venetian, if you haven't RSVP'd yet, please do so. We need to make sure you have a seat. I know a few years ago we actually had that happen where we had to make some seats happen. And everybody is invited. It is open to the whole brokerage, so come on, share the success of your colleagues as well if you want to. There's going to be food, there's going to be drinks, there's going to be some prizes. It's going to be a good time.
Good stuff.
Following that, we've got a jam-packed schedule going on. Following that, next Saturday is Easter weekend. We are doing our brokerage Easter event. It is going to be held in the training room purely because the parks are closed and we don't know what the weather's going to be like, but we are going to have an interactive event with the Easter Bunny. So the bunny will be here, the room will be decorated, there's going to be coloring contests, there's going to be gift bags and prizes and toys for the kids, and they can spend some time and either play a game or read a story, something along those lines with the Easter Bunny. The main thing I want to be clear on for this is that, I love the Easter Bunny, but we're not doing this for me, right? Although my kids will probably be here. We're doing it to give you a reason to connect with your database. So the media went out, the social Instagram posts, the PDF, send it to your database, call your database, invite them out to the event. If you just did that one task, you would get more business this year than you're going to get if you don't do it. And all you have to say is, hey, I'm calling because we're doing this great event. And you can position it as if it's your event that you're hosting. That's the beauty of it. It's not branded to anybody. It's for you to leverage in your own business. So please sign up for it. You have the emails, you have the marketing, you have the link to the landing page. They can register. The front desk will call and confirm their time slot. So it's all taken care of and arranged. Just get out there and talk to your database. Red Day, May 12th. Obviously, that's a big one, guys. We are working with the ALC to plan an amazing event for that. I cannot tell you yet what it is, but I promise it's going to be awesome. Probably look a little similar to last year with maybe a few differences. And then on June 6th, we have our charity golf tournament at Bethesda Grange. We will be sending out the registration packages for that soon. Hopefully you guys can get some foursomes out to help us celebrate and raise money for some good local causes. So put those dates into your calendar, please. They are events that, you know, we host every year, and we want to make sure that you're a part of and that you get to enjoy the culture of the brokerage, and also just give back to the community and give back to your clients.
Yeah, the give back to the clients is a huge one on the golf tournament piece. I brought clients, I think 5 or 6, I do it many years, but I remember 5 years ago, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago, I brought some clients, and one of those clients, I'm going to be buying and selling a home with them this summer. So it's important to, like, some of those things that you do, it takes time to come to fruition, but just as Jen said, there's opportunities on this event calendar to invite clients to, and to, again, leverage what the office here is doing. Great stuff, great stuff. Okay.
Sorry, it's a Sunday.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's exactly.
Is that what you were pointing at?
Yeah.
May 12th is a Sunday?
It's actually it's Mother's Day.
That might have been me putting in the wrong date. We'll make sure the date gets corrected on that. Good stuff.
Yeah, we'll get the right date to you
Yeah,
guys.
good stuff. Okay,
It's always something.
family reunion, Jen. Talk to us.
Yes.
Well, let's do this. We got a couple of things that we're going to do. 2 of our agents have sent in a little video on their experience, so we're going to watch that in just a moment. But Jen, let's kind of walk through our experience with family reunion and kind of the top 5 things here about what happened. You start with the first one here with the culture piece and that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things you always get from KW is the culture and the time that you get to spend with the people, whether it's agents that you don't know and the networking and the connections you're doing. I got to connect with a TL down in Philadelphia. We talked to some PC coaches that are running big businesses. We talked to agents and learned about their businesses. Just getting to hear what other people are doing and just meet other like-minded people. And then just the sheer volume of people that are in that space that are, you know, a part of Keller Williams, and you can see the impact that the company is having. And it's a very powerful feeling, and it gives you energy. You feed off of all that energy. And then the culture is just, you know, it's culture. You know, everybody's hugging each other. Everybody's high. That's probably why half of us got sick on the way home. But it's just that energy that people want to be there and are excited to share. And it's always a big piece of what we take back with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this year, KWRC represents, that's Wayne
Yes.
Clements there.
Let's go, Wayne.
Yeah,
Woo!
hosting a panel, and I got to tell you, it was so fun to see Wayne in that environment, and we had many Canadians on panels, hosting panels, and if that's on your kind of vision board, we'll call it, talk to Colin and I. We will look to see how we make that happen, because the opportunity that provides Wayne and others is so much more than just going up and being on a panel or hosting or taking part in family reunion. As Jen said, there's a lot more ripple effect that happens because of that, and using that podium or that stage as if you will, that's provided, I know, Wayne an opportunity to speak kind of right across Canada as well. And I know speaking's not for everybody, or public speaking's not for everybody, but opportunity is, right? Opportunity is for everybody. Good stuff. Okay, our keynote speakers, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole hour on this.
Yeah.
We had the luxury of having 2 this year. We had Tony Robbins, which was insane. The energy in that room was just crazy. And then we had Mel Robbins as well. Not related, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. Tony, you know, I've had the access to him for the past year, thanks to Colin and some of that access. So I did have some of the information before, but just the way he presents it and what he shared with us and the cycle, the one thing that's always stood out to me from the first time I did it to this time was the cycle of the way business runs, right? And you have your winter and your spring, your summer and your fall. And just that mindset of understanding that what we're going through right now is actually something that has happened many, many times historically, and we will exit it just like we did every single time historically, and we can take advantage of certain opportunities when we understand the market and the era that we're in. And when you kind of start to get that information, it shifts how you look at things. It's like, how can I do better now? What can I do more of now so that when it does get a little bit easier, I get to take that and run with it. It gets easier for me as well. Not wait until it's easy to start doing the right things. Start doing the right things so that when it gets easier, you benefit.
Yeah.
So for me, that's always my biggest thing with Tony. I love that message. And then Mel Robbins, I laugh because it sounds like such a simple concept, right? So her idea of, you know, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 move and that mindset shift. And going into this, I'm not going to lie, I looked at some of her stuff. I'm like, yeah, whatever, like, it's fine. And then she did it, and I was like, that's interesting, but okay. And then we left, and I found myself actually doing it.
Cool.
And I have used it multiple times, and most people that were there have also started to use it. And, they you know, it does work. When you stop and you make yourself slow down and just go, I'm in this headspace, I don't want to be in it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. Go do something different, all of a sudden the way you think changes, your energy changes, and you get into action. And that simple thing can shift you from not making the call you needed to make, go on the walk you wanted to go on, make the smoothie, whatever that is. And that action could start a motion that will change the trajectory of your life. It's a very simple thing. It's almost like that ripple effect. And I full disclosure, I didn't go into it thinking much of it. I mean, I left kind of being like, yeah, but I've been using it, so I can't say that it doesn't work. And it does. It does work.
It definitely works. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you don't know Mel Robbins, look her up. When I mentioned to my family that's who was coming, Michelle, my wife, was extremely jealous. And so was my 17-year-old daughter. She follows her as well. So it's a great follow on Instagram if you're not familiar with her work. Awesome, awesome stuff. Okay, the other takeaway is command. We are always, or I say we, they are always improving command and listening to the agents, how to make it better. And I know sometimes you have to go backwards in order to make it go or make it better. Last year was one of those backward movements. And this year, the things that are coming out with it, with a new and updated mobile app and the way you can interact with your clients with the desktop version here, be excited about it. If you're not using it, if you're not leveraging it, or if you've never used a CRM, you already have access to this. So use it, leverage it, and I know, Jen, you've done many videos on it. Dylan and his team will work through that with you, and make sure you have access to Command for sure for your CRM. Okay, if you want more information from Family Reunion, from Gary Keller and his team, the vision speech, albeit sometimes can be dry because it's statistical information. What it does an amazing job at, Jen, I'm really selling this. What it does an amazing job is projecting the future by where we came from. And Gary and his team are absolutely outstanding at it. So if it's about 2 hours long. They do spend time on the Canadian market, so you can always find that within the segment and talk about or watch that. But his insight, everyone can look at stats, and everyone can kind of glaze over stats. I get it. But Gary's insight and what he's able to pull away from just a few numbers or a few stats, or more importantly, see the trends.
Yeah.
Can totally change your outlook on something or how you talk to your clients. So use that as an advantage.
Yeah, that would be the one thing I would say. I'm not a big stats person. Most of you who know me know that. I will say I've come to appreciate them at a very high level because of that last piece that you said. It changes how I talk to my clients. It changes how I talk to agents about their business. When I understand what it means and I can see the trend lines, I can have a better conversation with them about what the potential outcomes are going to look like and set them up better for success. So I think even if it's not your thing, it's better to know it than to put your head in the sand and be like, those aren't my thing, because the message is going to help you have better conversion ultimately.
Yeah, good
Good.
stuff. Okay, KWRC testimonial. So we have Mike Russo, Zach King, who was there for his first time, in fact, send us a little video, and we're going to watch right now just on their takeaways from Family Reunion this year.
Hi folks, my name's
Hey KWRC, it's Mike and Zach here, and we just wanted to share our key takeaways from Family Reunion at 2024. What was the big thing you took away this year?
One thing was collaboration for sure. So not only with agents from our office, but also some agents from all across North America, even internationally as well. Everybody was really incentivized to meet each other, and we learned a lot from each other as well in the seminars, but also more kind of in smaller group settings as well.
Yeah,
What
see,
about you?
I love that too. That's one of the things that I always take away. For me, this year was a little bit different. The one key thing that I took away a lot of was how important it is to dive in on your database and build relationships. I think almost every panel I attended talked about building relationships with your clients and that we're really in the relationship business. So that was a big thing. And then the other thing, I always been talking about this all week, but was this playbook that I got. It's probably backwards, but the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Playbook was a great takeaway for me. This is like an actual walkthrough of every single thing that people are doing in their business that I can then implement into mine, which I thought was really cool. So
Absolutely, yeah. One thing that Jason Abrams also brought up in one of the breakout sessions that I attended, Mike, was the lead generation aspect of things. So one aha moment, I guess, if you will, was the fact that you can lead gen literally everything. And when
Yes.
you're talking with some agents from the States, these guys are doing it on a whole nother level. It's going to be block parties. So people actually having parties in their neighborhoods. People are doing wine nights. They are doing, book clubs, for example. It's just, you really need to shift your perspective, shift your focus on your lead gen model, and you can make it whatever you want. So to speak on ahas, that was a huge aha for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Until next year, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. See you guys there.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks, Mike, Zach, for sending that in. Sorry. Okay, talk to us about what this means, Jen. We want you.
We want you. So basically what this means is that we want you to come next year, and part of our goal for the rest of this year is to make that possible for you. And we know that there are challenges, whether it's financial or it's time management or it's just being organized enough to book the rooms and do things in time. So what we've talked about as a leadership team is making that accessible for you in a couple of ways. The first thing is we're going to roll out a savings plan for you agents. Those of you that want to come, but it's hard to find that lump sum when it comes to October, November, we really start promoting it. We can take a portion of every deal you write and put it aside for you in a savings account so that that money is there. We are already in the process of blocking off rooms for next year. We have the dates. I want to say it's February 18th to the 21st. It is in that window for sure. I'm pretty certain that's it. I should have written that down. But that is when Family Reunion will be next year. It will be at Mandalay Bay again. We are doing Vegas 2 years in a row, which is awesome for some and maybe not so much for others. But that being said, it's a great, easy access point, and we had a lot of fun. We're going to do some cool events. We'll be getting out a schedule to you early so you know what events we're doing, where we're going. We'll help you with a budget. We're going to block the rooms in advance, which means if you're signed up on our savings plan, you will automatically have a room allocated for yourself. And when we are booking our flights to go down, we will also be booking your flights, okay? So we want to make it as easy as we can for you to get there, because we know once you're there, it will change your business. And I know everyone who's gone can attest to that and will fully agree with us that that's the truth. So we're going to be much more vocal about it. If we get annoying, sorry, not sorry. We know that it's going to be something that will impact you, and we want you to take the opportunity. If there's something else you need to have happen for you to get there, just come talk to me. We'll figure it out. I can't promise babysitters, but if it's anything other than that, we'll figure it out, okay? So that's what we want. We want you to come with us and have that experience that Zach had. I know that Christian had last year, and that like Maddie and Paul and Megan, you're nodding your head. You know how much it changed your business. We just want to share what we get to experience and make sure that you guys have access to it in any way that we can and help you with that. So.
Excellent, excellent. Jen, that's amazing. Okay, I'm going to invite Colin to come on up, and he's going to introduce Abe. And I'm just going to leave it like that because I don't know where you're going to go with this. But Abe is one of those guys that when you sit down and you start talking to him, you're automatically pulled in because he's such a storyteller and he speaks from the heart.
It's funny because listening to everything that we're talking about Family Reunion, my biggest takeaway from Family Reunion has always been connections. Every time I go down to Family Reunion, I'm very purposeful with, I'm going to connect with 3 people one-on-one that will help grow my business, grow my team, grow the brokerage. And so I'm very focused on that as much as I'm going to all of the sessions. Interesting enough, it was an accident how we met Abe. I don't think we're going to go into that today because we broke a few rules, quite a few. So, where, you know, you have everybody in the upper level of Keller Williams knowing who you are and saying, yes, that was brave, but please don't do that again. However, Abe was somebody we met
A year ago.
a year ago. Thank you, Gary. And this year was just perfect to reconnect with him. And I think after we met him, I mentioned to Gary, I was like, who's this guy, Abe? And Gary's like, no, Colin, he's a big deal. I was like, tell me more. And he coaches, if you were to look at the top 20 people in Keller Williams that have a MAPS coach, he would coach all of them. So people who are making, you know, billion-dollar businesses, he's coaching them. Jay Papazan, he's been coaching Jay Papazan for, I think, 4 or 5 years. Wendy Papazan, he coaches Gary Keller's son. Like some of the Cody Gibson, some of the big hitters in Keller Williams, he's the guy that is coaching them. And he's so down to earth. And the beautiful thing about this time at Family Reunion, and I'm so grateful we were there, I think we were out one night just having Guinness and wings. And he said, guys, I really love you and I want to continue to connect with you. So now he's offered to coach us every week. Like, here is an opportunity for someone who's coaching the top level in Keller Williams, and he's offered to coach us every week. So that is Abe's story. I can't wait for you to meet him when he comes down here to Canada because he can't wait to come and visit. So with any no longer delay, Abe.
All right.
Hi folks, my name's Abe Shreve and I'm really excited to spend some time with you today. And the very first thing that everyone here needs to understand is that the first key to success is to always make sure that your space is in perfect working order, that nothing is out of place, so that you are constantly in the flow. You don't have to worry about mess or disorganization. You can just get right into it. This is the principle that I live by probably more than any other, ensuring that my space is always perfect. Well, as you could tell from my background, I am living in complete disarray. We downsized our space from a 4,000 square foot building to just about 900 square feet. So half of our stuff is here in this new office that I've been feverishly working at night to remodel, and the other half is all over my house. It's in my garage, and it's my bedroom, and anyway, it's kind of nuts, and I've been working hard to get that in order. I have finally got our studio set up, but you can probably hear there's quite an echo, and I went to set up our camera, and it wasn't charged, and here, I'll give you the quick penny tour. There's the LED light, and there's the fake brick wall that I installed, and there's my camera that's not charged. I'm the CEO and the founder of Business Maps Coaching and Training and the Millionaire Business Network. I launched that company about 6 years ago with the great Gary Keller. I call him the most powerful mustache in all of real estate, and it's been really an honor and a privilege to work alongside Gary. And my background, I've owned several different businesses, but I want you to understand something. I have an incredible amount of respect and admiration for the front line of business. I consider an agent on the front line. You're doing this business. Gary asked me when we launched our company, what's going to keep you up at night? And aside from that question, I didn't have to think very hard. I knew what was going to keep me up was I'm moving from the person who helps others get clarity and they go do it to the one doing it. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some things that I understand that bring success in a time like this. What I'm going to share with you is, it might surprise a few of you, because to some of you, you've heard it and you know it. Look at my face. It doesn't matter. The fact that we know something doesn't mean we do it. If we all did the things that we knew were really good for us, we would live incredible lives. But we're human beings, right? Having a human experience. And so we find ourselves in a time that this market is requiring a little more of us. And I'm going to share with you some things. Some will be tempted to dismiss because maybe you've heard it, or maybe it sounds oversimplified. And that is why it works. So I'm going to ask you, for the short time that I have you here, to open up your mind, and I'm going to challenge you. I want to challenge you to think differently about the business. Now, back in 2008, I was the proud owner of a new construction company. we did really well. We bought land and we built about 25 homes a year. I had a great partner back in 2008. I'm gonna let that sink in for some of you. I remember exactly where I was the day I got a phone call and they told me that the subprime market had collapsed. I was the personal guarantor on 19 new construction homes. I call it a season of long, dark, lonely nights. It was really hard. And it's really where I learned grit, was in a refiner's fire I didn't ask for. Now people say, man, if I could go back, I'd do it all again for what I learned. I prefer to not do it again, but I learned incredible lessons. I had built a business that I completely controlled. I controlled what we paid for land, how we got it developed, and what we charged for homes. We would dig a foundational pit and we'd have multiple offers before the home was up. But I had to learn how to sell real estate in a more traditional way or get out of the business. And so I hired a coach. I hired a coach at a time that I couldn't afford to hire a coach, but I did. I'm not saying that's what everyone should do, but it was the foundation of my learning. So this idea that we win the morning, we win the day, that most of us know what it is that we need to do, we're just not doing it or not doing it to the level that it's going to bring us success. That idea is really true. I'm going to talk to you about what you can do, some little hacks and some things you can do in the morning to set your day in motion. But listen to me when I say this. Gary Keller once said that goals are dictators of actions. And I would ask you, based on your goals, what actions are being dictated now? It's amazing to me the amount of effort some of us will go to get out of the process of talking to our clients. So thinking of your own business today, if you're not ahead of your goal, I want you to think, how many voice-to-voice conversations have you had with your top 300 possible referrers, those in your data bank that would help you find those in need of your service? How often have you talked to them? Because if it's not once a month, I want to suggest to you that you are missing an incredible opportunity. Now, in order to do that, we've got to think a little different. I want to challenge you to think like a professional business athlete. When we look at business, when we look at just professional athletes, they don't just train in the sport that they're known for. Wayne Gretzky, come on, the GOAT, didn't just train the game of hockey. There was physical conditioning. He did things to study and sharpen his mind. And that is what this business is. If we treat it that way, there's an unbelievable opportunity out ahead of us. But those that don't talk to their database regularly and in a consistent way are going to learn the hard lesson over and over again that someone else will. And it's the one that is in the most conversations with them that's going to earn the business when it comes around or when someone in their life is looking for it. So for me, this was hard. Like, I sound like I have it all put together, but it was hard for me. I remember saying all the things that you say to someone when you don't want to use a dialogue. I don't want to sound like a robot. That doesn't sound like me. But the truth is, though I was good with people, I wasn't good in a structured way. And I discovered that I could be in the driveway playing basketball with their kid, being ready to be named the godparent of their next child. Well, someone more skilled would show up and list their home. And it was a hard season. And so I started to practice dialogues. And I learned that the reason to learn a specific dialogue wasn't just so that we could facilitate a greater experience, a greater customer experience. It was so that it took less energy for me to be able to get through my daily contacts every day. I didn't have to think about what to say. I would show up. If someone ever said, it sounds like you're reading a script, I'll give you a little get out of jail free card. I guess we're not supposed to say script. If someone ever said, it sounds like is that a dialogue you practice? I say, absolutely. Because when it comes to your real estate needs, this isn't a hobby to me. And I work hard to ensure that I give you the most professional experience possible. That's what I would say. Every great morning starts the night before, and we have to set it up. Now, if you're someone that has a team, I'm really talking to you, because in challenging markets, leaders have to lead from the front. Those that think they graduate out of lead generating every day with their team, guess what? The 7 levels of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, they're not like years in school that we graduate and don't have to go back. I'm through 3rd grade. I never have to go back to 3rd grade. The level of your business profitability will dictate how much involvement is required from you on the front line. And adults learn by seeing it done. So if you're a person that isn't doing this and you have a team, pick up a shovel and start digging with your people. I mean it. This is an incredibly important opportunity. I want to challenge you to let your guard down with others. It's okay if this is hard. It's okay. It was hard for me. And in doing this for a decade, there was never one morning where it was easy. But I learned that I didn't have to worry about making 40 contacts so I could get my appointment. I just had to get the first 2 calls done to remind myself that no one's coming for my children. That they may be upset, but they don't hate me personally. These are the games, right, that we play in our minds. And so I would set everything up the night before. I would prepare for bed. Every decision that we make will extract from us a component of our mental and emotional bandwidth. So I would set out my clothes so I don't have to make that decision the next day. And I would have I work with a trainer, a fitness trainer. So I didn't have to think about the workout. I would lay my food out the night before so that when I woke up the next day, I didn't have to make decisions and spend my valuable mental and emotional resources on decisions that could be made another time. There's a lot of studies that go with that, but I don't want this video to be 30 minutes, so I'll just leave it at that. I would set my alarm in the other room and I would put a glass of water there because I learned that my alarm could go off and I could wander to the bathroom, hit snooze, and be back in bed and not know that that trip happened. And what I was doing was too important. And so I would go in there and my workout clothes were right there and a glass of water and I would drink the water and that would get me going. I'm not naturally this structured, but what I'm looking for are unnatural results. So for this, I can be bulletproof until noon. I'm a person that believes very heavily in getting the right message in my ears right away. And I have things that I do in the morning to take care of my spirit, but I also have things I do to help me get in a learning phase. And I'm also fitness oriented. And so I get into my fitness, but I don't ever have to think about what I'm going to do in the gym because all of that was decided the night before and when possible by someone else. That's how I'm doing it at least. I show up, if you have a time block at 9 o'clock to lead generate, I want you to show up at 8:30. If we slide in sideways for lead generation, right at 9 o'clock, what we're going to do is spend 30 minutes of the time we've set aside to do our most important activity, getting ready for the activity. And you want to know the kiss of death for a great lead generation session? Show up unprepared. Spend time that we really want to be spending hunting want to erode your productivity. And so you show up and you warm up. I always believe that the agent, whoever's role-playing as the agent, should dictate the terms. I'm going to call for sale by owners first. I'm going to start with them because they don't have souls until I get an appointment. I'm going to call them first. And I want you to give me this one objection, and I'm going to do that 4 times. Here's why. If in the role play, the person who is the agent doesn't dictate the terms, then to help each other, we're going to give each other every conceivable objection. And no one is like that. We're not going to call anyone who had a realtor steal their spouse and poison their well. It doesn't happen. And we find ourselves completely demoralized going into our first calls. The role play is not to learn what to say. Do that later. It's to get on the listing channel. It's to get prepared and warmed up. Here's when you're a pro. You're a pro when you say, I'm going to lead generate till I get an appointment. Now that sounds good. But when Tony DeSello was my coach, that's what I did. I didn't set my lead gen time according to number of contacts. I went in there and said, until I get an appointment, I'm going to lead generate. And there were times that would happen quickly. I sometimes would get that in 20 minutes. And you know what I could do? Anything I wanted. I'd go climbing and I'd go ride my bike. But I had to be back by 2 to start prepping for my appointments. Some of this sounds like stage talk. I get that. I understand that. But this is exactly what I learned. This is how I learned how to build a business when it just wasn't given to me. Fast forward and I find myself a coach coaching the top performing teams, people that are doing 1,300 transactions in a year. And guess what you learn about those people? They still lead generate. They lead from the front. They gather their people together and say, we're going to do this together. We're going to celebrate what goes well, and we're going to laugh at what goes wrong together. And we're going to do this every single day. So, how do you find success in this business? The morning is game time. Make sure you're prepped for it. Pay the price to get in there and get ready and get it done. And guess what? When you're done at noon, you can just let the whole day descend into a vat of chaos if you choose. For years, I used to say in my schedule, swim in the crazy, because I would pre-plan this period of spontaneity so I could just unwind and do whatever I wanted. But there are people that are going to sell their home, and they're going to buy a home, and you know them. And you may think, well, they know me and they'll use me. But I promise you, there's so much noise right now in the air. The static to signal ratio is completely out of whack. They will talk to the person they hear the most, that sounds the most professional, and that says to them, no one's more important to me than the people important to you. And I wanted to know whom among your family and friends has talked about putting their home on the market. I promise you, no one will take care of them like me. That is the language they need to hear. You show up every day and you make those calls, and I promise you, you're going to have the business you want. All right. This is kind of weird. I'm not used to doing this in just static video. I'm used to being in the room where we can interact. But I hope you found this helpful. I asked Gary Keller one time, it was recently actually, I said, what would people be surprised to learn about you? It was in an interview I did with him. What would people be surprised to learn about you that they wouldn't know? They would just, seeing your success, they wouldn't know. And he said, I still lead generate and I still own the morning. So it doesn't matter what level we're playing at. There's typically room to tighten the screws in these routines to set ourselves up mentally and emotionally for the best day possible. And just know this, you win it before noon. So I would play like a professional. All right, there it is. I'm gonna take this shirt off, put another one on, and start painting. Because I like to put the F in professional. All right, go get them. We'll see you.
Abe Shreve, my friends. Good stuff. He's got a great Instagram channel. It's literally his name. If you search that up, give him a follow. He would absolutely appreciate it. Great stuff, though, from Abe. And there will be a time where Colin and I share the story and how we truly met Abe. And another time. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Jonathan Jen, our broker of record, talk to us about what's going on. And there's a lot of things going on, in fact.
There is.
There is. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
So Gary, good news.
Okay, what do we got?
We have an agent partner. Sorry about that.
Good news.
Good news. We have an agent partner that left us and is coming back.
Excellent.
And I can't disclose the name just as of yet because that person hasn't registered with us as of yet. But I just got confirmation that the agent is coming back to us. There's got to be something we're doing right.
Got to be like the support and everything that we're offering.
Absolutely. And so here's one of the. Here is one of the things that we're doing right. So recently we had a case in front of an arbitration panel at TREB. It was regards to a commission dispute for a BRA that we had signed. And there was a dispute with another brokerage. And at the end of the day, long story short, we won the case.
Ooh, yeah.
It's literally something like a court case. If you haven't been there, I hope you haven't been there. It's not something that I recommend to go for everybody. Secondly, that case was appealed. So TREB, at an appeals hearing, so we had to go in person now. All hearings are in person. We had to go to an appeals hearing. And the other brokers were trying to make the same case, the same arguments all over again. And with TREB, if you don't know already, and I'm not going into detail, you can't make the same arguments, no matter how new or how whatever it may be. It has to be based on new facts and new facts only. So knowing the TREB rules is key. Knowing RICO rules is key. And all I can say is the other broker manager or the broker rec, I'm not sure of his title, all I heard was him saying, I'm sorry, this is my first time here, if you can tell me the process in which I need to follow, I would really appreciate it. And the TREB panel, all they said was, we're not here to educate you. We're here to listen to a hearing. If you're not ready, you're not ready. If you're ready, please proceed. I don't know about you, but do you want your broker record, your broker manager who has never been to an appeal, never been to an arbitration case, represent you? I think not. Choose wisely.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Talk to us about, and I know it's just in my own personal experience over the last several weeks working with buyers, and I'm sure you're feeling it too. We're starting to see more and more multiple offers come in, which means we're submitting perhaps offers that have no conditions, which could have an impact to your buyer.
Right.
Like not only from the mortgage perspective, but more importantly from the inspection perspective and things like that. Talk to us about what we can do there.
The most difficult part in your journey as a realtor is doing a multiple representation or double lending and having no conditions. That is something that's scary even for me, because you'll be scrutinized by every person. If by any chance one of the parties not happy with the deal, you'll be called to RICO, you'll be called to just about every governing body there is. So we have a form for that, Gary. Form 127, and it's titled Condition, bracket S, in Offer Buyer Acknowledgement. It's a buyer acknowledgement saying that they're going to be not presenting the offer with any offers.
Conditions.
Oh, sorry, conditions. Of course, the offer is going in. As well as, and Gary and I had a little bit of a chat, I always liked putting everything in the agreement to purchase and sale, putting the conditions in, crossing it out, initialing it. And Gary said he always likes to use the Form 127. So we compromised. What if you did both? If you did both, you're back covered, you got no problems. You know, we welcome that. We welcome, the details. We welcome how you acknowledged, what you're doing, how you consulted with your clients on what you're doing, presented the offer with Form 1 inside the offer itself. I think that's a great idea. So compromise. Not on deals, but in processes, compromise is good, right? So moving forward, Gary, we have the TRESA Schedule A's. Earlier this morning, we were talking about defending your commission. The TRESA Schedule A on a listing form, on your buyer representation agreement, and we have also on the listing form for a lease as well, would be ideal because it spells out pretty much in a template on what offerings you're going to be offering to your clients. It spells out everything that you need to do, and you need to modify what we're presenting to you. However, if it's spelled out in detail on our Schedule A, all that conversation is going to be brought up again, and you're going to be able to defend your commission because you're doing so much for the client. So we have uploaded the Schedule A onto web forms. Under the clause section, there's a folder called Schedule A, and we put currently three, there may be four in the future, but we put 3 different Schedule A's. You do need to modify them because this is more generic, and there are certain offerings that you may not offer as part of your service, or you may add or go beyond what we have provided. So you do need to modify the clauses on the Schedule A. We have also put it under the templates on web forms. You can't just download it because we put watermarks because they need to be modified, but it's for you to look at, be able to see what's there, and modify your own Schedule A's. So 2 areas within web forms so that it can really benefit you in putting your offer together.
Jonathan, if I may as well, the important piece here is what you say you're going to provide on those Schedule A's, whether it's on the buy or sell side, you need to be able to make sure you can provide those. And not only can, but do provide that. That's kind of the bottom line here, right?
Absolutely. And I really like the conversation that we had this morning with Wayne as well and with Dylan. If you put timelines beside some of the services that you have, for example, 3 days from going live on MLS, we will provide this service. 10 days after that, we will provide this service. If you can do that, that'll be so awesome for your business. Nobody that I know in the 24 years that I've been doing business have put timelines on a Schedule A on what they're going to do in terms of their services, which is great. Lastly, as you all know, with not directly associated with Tressa, but we have new FinTrack forms as well. And there's all these numbers, questions, and you have to add these numbers. And it's very difficult because 1 is always not 1, 0 is not always 0 or 1, and all this stuff. So I highly recommend, you're more than welcome to use the forms, but I highly recommend using FinTracker. FinTracker will add all these yes, no's, and maybes, or not sure's, into a number where it gives you whether that client is at a high risk, moderate risk, or low risk individual. Otherwise, you'll have to do it manually. It's a little cumbersome. That's the only benefit of the FinTracker as far as the calculation is concerned. I'm sure there's other benefits as well. So outside of that, Gary, if you have anything to ask me as a agent partner as well, but that's pretty much it from the Office of the Broker of Record.
No, I love it. And I think the biggest part there on the FinTracker side, if you're not using it, you're missing out. It expedites everything so much faster. And from the app, right, Jonathan, I can now send it to the compliant team downstairs.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's phenomenal. And it walks you through. It will not let you send a document if something's been missed, right?
Exactly. And, having those fields populate by you just clicking on some things or writing a few things really helps than just, being, or Gail, our compliance advisor, just calling you back and saying this is missing.
Excellent. All right, my friend, I appreciate all the hard work.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everybody.
On that recent case. Hopefully there's no more, but hey, that happens. That happens. Okay, my friends, we are where we're headed here next. That's right. We are going to invite our good friend Nicole to come on stage, share with us what's all the good things, all the great things that's going on in the mortgage industry. Good. Coming prepared. That's what we like. There you have it, my friend. You hold that, and it's all yours.
So it's interesting because one of the things that you guys were just chatting about was kind of one thing that I wanted to talk about, which was we're seeing a ton of the firm offers again, right? So I think I probably mentioned this last time, and I know Dylan's heard this quite a bit from me lately with some of our other conversations, is that we're seeing more and more, the banks, this is not to sound, negative about the banks at all, but they're being lazier in the sense of they're, not doing a lot of work up front on, the pre-approvals, vetting documents, and it's really unfortunate, but I'm getting more and more calls. I had another one on the way here of stuff that's falling apart. I know this is one of your favorite, dealing with the pre-fund audits and stuff. So basically what's happening is, even if you have conversations with, or your clients, I should say, have conversations with the banks, and they're like, yeah, you're good to go, give you this fabulous little piece of paper that says you're pre-approved for X amount, and because now we, can't have conditions necessarily if we're, in a competitive market, the work is not being done up front, and what's happening is all these surprises are coming out last minute. So the pre-funding audit that I mentioned is that even if you have a pre-approval that goes live and you get a piece of paper, and any brokers that you're working with, or even if they're working directly with the bank, even if they have a dedicated team, which I do at all of my lenders, there's still a final process, second set of eyes, let's call it, at the lenders just before closing. So even when you think we're all good to go, that's when things are falling apart, because even if it was innocent, it was just overlooked or whatever the case is, it's literally somebody's job to pick it up. So I'm saying this because as much as we're moving so quickly right now, and you guys are finally getting buyers that are back and excited, they're like, hey, let's go, we're ready to go now, we still need to do the upfront work. So that's where, again, on the pre-approval side, please, if I can emphasize, just make sure your clients are getting everything thoroughly looked at. And that's where we can confidently say, you guys in the room have had me say to you, yeah, you're good. Like, I'm not concerned about anything. If you got the property covered, I got the financing covered, like, we've looked at all angles, we're okay. That's where, you know, you can eventually, hopefully go in firm and start winning some of these. So I wanted to just mention that because it happened again on the way here. And like I said, that was a perfect segue into that. With the lenders as well, one of the things that we are seeing a lot with the rates, and I'll be completely honest, it's a headache right now with respect to quoting rates and things like that to your clients. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of spot pricing, but essentially what happens is with a lot of the lenders, especially the big banks, they have literally a pricing desk. It's a department and somebody's job, you know, whose it is to look at the actual rates as of that day, the margins, and quote you on rates. So even though somebody like myself has a top tier status in terms of executive discount with all of my lenders, we know we're gonna get whatever it is, 20 basis points off, for example, off of our rate sheet. That said, it would be fabulous if that was accurate, but that's not the case because we literally have to get an approval, go back and say, okay, hey, it's Nicole, here's my discount, and then go back and forth and literally negotiate. So the same way you guys are going back and forth with your offers and things like that, we're doing that with the pricing departments at the lenders. So it's tough because even though, you know, we're used to be able to saying, okay, hey, I could pretty much guarantee this, they're literally changing daily. So where before we typically had, you know, ranges that we could provide, we can still do that, but just a heads up, it is literally like over the last couple weeks, it's daily. They're changing daily and sometimes a couple times a day. So if you're hearing, you know, or if you're having conversations with me and I'm like, yeah, it's likely going to be this, we literally can't promise because it's changing daily. So don't be, you know, concerned if you're hearing that from some of the conversations because it's just the way the lenders are working right now with the bond market and there's so many fluctuations, it's literally changing. So that's also important as well because if you are not running something by your broker prior to putting in an offer, even if you have a pre-approval, because 9 times out of 10, if we have a pre-approval, we all know that the, you know, majority of the time we're going to be able to get lower than what's on the pre-approval. So if we're saying, and I said to you, you know what, hey Mel, you can go in an extra 50,000, I'm confident with the rate, please still check with your broker to make sure, because if something changed that day, we'll have a pretty good indication of what we expect. It's not significant, but even a difference of 10 basis points can change. So please just do your check-in with your brokers. Last thing, I know we spoke about it with a couple of you guys, but not on the team meeting. So a couple weeks ago, we had a change in terms of the first-time homebuyer incentive. I wanted to bring that up again. That program itself has been discontinued. The reason why I wanted to mention it is because I've had a lot of conversations with some confusion around it. So the program that's being discontinued, the incentive itself, was basically a shared equity program. And so it was a program wherein the government would basically lend anywhere from 5 to 10% to your client's power and to ease monthly affordability. Now, I'll spare you the details. It was honestly probably in my opinion, a flawed program from the very beginning. It wasn't, you know, really used. In the 5 years it's been around, I probably did, I can count on 2 hands the amount that I've done it. It's unfortunate because the most that I've done have been in the last little while. But that said, that is the program that's being discontinued on, actually, what's today? Tomorrow, I think it is, 21st. But there seems to be confusion around that because a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, is it the RRSPs? Can I still use my RRSPs? Do I still get my land transfer tax rebate? So there's several different components of incentives that are available to first-time home buyers. All of the ones we really need and we typically use are still in play. So if you have any questions or your clients are asking you about things, I'm happy to have a chat. I've posted some stuff on it as well. So not a big deal in my opinion and not a big change, but it is something that's being discontinued. I think that's, oh, see, my inflation. I had to bring my sticky. Well, we saw a drop in inflation and CPI yesterday, so good news. Not, you know, really any surprises. All still indications moving that some people are still saying April. I still think that's wishful thinking. I think that, you know, we'll probably see potential decrease with the Bank of Canada in June, but everything is kind of pointing to the direction of summer. So same thing, more and more consumer confidence. You guys are always obviously seeing that already. So it's all good news, I think. Again, light at the end of the tunnel. So all good stuff.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
No problem.
That is how you get a hold of her. I did remember this time her contact information, so do reach out to Nicole. Obviously a wealth of knowledge, and it's also important to educate yourself as well as your clients throughout this process. So The question I always get is, when should I go talk to my mortgage broker as a buyer or a seller? As soon as possible. That should be one of your first conversations that your clients are having. So make sure you get them to Nicole, connected with Nicole. Excellent. Okay, where are we headed here? We are headed here. And I want to remind everybody of our allied partner, Jen Galland from Elite Marketing. I know a lot of people are starting to use her services and her team there to generate, listing packages, online marketing material, any sort of material that you need for your listing. Out to Jen and her team there. Excellent stuff. Good, good, good. Market mashup. Okay, here's what we're so fancy. Actually, I wanted to mention this. Yeah, leans and beans. I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But just I'm reading through the comments here online, and I got to point out, Melissa Bachman, I really don't know why we don't have babysitters, Jen, at KWRC. Come on now. Melissa, I hear you, and I know with all the babies that KWRC is having, maybe we should look at that. Anyways.
Pull together, get a nanny or something.
Yeah. An in brokerage nanny. Is that a thing? That should be a thing. Maybe it's a thing. It's our new value proposition. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, leans and beans, Gary, what do you mean? First of all, I had to laugh at that image. You know, when you ask AI to create something for you, you never quite know what you're going to get back. This was it was passable. As I mentioned, in one of the chat groups the other day, the comment came up along the lines of, how do I verify what's registered on title or the mortgages that are on title so there's enough equity to pay out not only those mortgages, but also any other liens and then commissions? Well, that's a big conversation right now, because there will be moments or times when you pick up the phone right now and people are selling, people for all different reasons. We know that. And what we're feeling and seeing right now are people are also selling for financial reasons, right? They're feeling that pinch. And sometimes we're getting that phone call sometimes too late in the game. And I know, as example, you know, Stuart Coleman, one of our favorite realtors here, who has a lot of power sale properties, that's the end result, right? So how do we get the phone call before Stuart gets the phone call? Right? So that's where, to what Abe was saying earlier, if you're not talking to your clients, who is? Somebody else. Many else's, right? And we need to be in conversation with our clients so we can walk them through this process. Okay, this is great, Garo. How do we protect that? Well, let's pull title, which we can do very, very easily. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then more importantly, I'm going to show you how to read the register. That's really what we're pulling here, is parcel register. That's kind of like the boring legal terms, but we pull title. We pull title. We should always, when should we pull title? When we're at a listing or we're looking at taking a listing? The answer is always. Now, we don't always, and I think this is good coaching moving forward, or I should say good practice, we should spend the $36 as well as the $5 or $6 for square footage to pull to see what's registered on the property. Because we'll get into it, and I think even Stuart commented on it, was it will show you that something's registered, like a rental furnace, but it may not always show you the amount, and it definitely will not show you the buyout amount. And sometimes, we've all been there, clients forget that they're renting, or it's a rent-to-own furnace, and it can cost $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 sometimes in crazy cases. So it's always good practice to pull that. There's been certain times where I've pulled it just based on my conversations, because I was a little nervous of what situation I was getting into as a listing agent. We should always verify the title, and Realm does a great job of doing that for us, but it doesn't pull to see what's registered on title. Those are two different things. So how do we do that? Okay, you know I got to go to Realm. You're going to click at the very top, that little dice at the very top there, and then you're going to look for Geo Warehouse. You can see it right there, or you can search for Geo Warehouse. You click that, it'll take you right into this for the property that you're on, or you can search the property here. This is actually a property that I own in Barrie. You're going to scroll down, and then you're going to see reports available for purchase. And you can see here that I've circled the second one. The second one here, I need glasses. No, here they are. Imagine that. It specifically says title checks plus parcel register. That's what we're after. And you're going to click that, and it's going to take you to this page, your checkout page. And towards the bottom, you want to make sure that the charge mortgage option has that blue check. Otherwise, you're not going to get that information. And then just below that is the payments. It's roughly $36 here. Do it. That could save you so much headache in the future. Okay, so Gare, how do we read this? This is the type of document you're going to get. Now, I know this is a little small. The next one, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The very top left-hand corner, this was an actual one that I pulled for a home that I sold a few years ago. That's why it's been redacted, so I've removed some of the stuff. And then you can see the pricing, the transfer, where that first $750,000, if everyone can see that right in the middle, and I made up the name. No, I didn't. It was literally Bart Simpson. He is the registered owner of that property. Stop giggling. This is important. Then the lien that's on the property was $562,000. Now, this is years later. That date was 2017 that mortgage was registered. What I want you to point out is it doesn't give us the current balance. It'd have to be updated every month. That's not going to happen. But we know that at that time, 7-8 years ago, in 2017, there was a mortgage on it at 80% of value or 75% loan to value, something like that. It also, as you can see here in the right-hand column, tells me who that mortgage is owned by or is carried. This is Home Trust. Now, there's nothing wrong with Home Trust. However, you might just want to ask a few more questions with some of those lenders like Home Trust. Nicole, stop laughing at me. Stop smiling. Because Home Trust is typically a lender that will lend to more difficult borrowers. Is that a fair way to say it? She gave me the thumbs up. And then I'm going to put myself in that category as well, because I've had mortgages from Home Trust, because they are great at offering people with many mortgages another mortgage. Right? Many of you know I own investment properties, and when you get to a certain amount, your options get smaller and smaller. However, just a little heads up on who that mortgage is. It'll say TD Canada Trust or anyone, CIBC. It'll say anything like that, and it'll even say some other information, like any of that lender. And then there are times, I don't know if we have it here, the next page, you might see a registered number. That typically means, right, Nicole, perhaps a private lender. So just kind of keep that in mind, or there's something extra going on there where you might need another couple of questions. Okay, this next page, this is what it looks like. And then the next page, I'm going to zoom in and make it bigger. So there's a transfer here from the previous owner to the new owner. There's a mortgage on the property. There's some liens on the property. This is an example right off of Geo Warehouse. How do we read this? Well, let's go to this page here, because that actually helps us out here. In the very top, not that one. Let's go back one. In the very top, I'm going to see if I can zoom in. Obviously, it gives us the current owner's name, Mike Anderson, as this example. Sometimes, and I don't have all clarity on this, it'll tell us how this property is owned. In the previous one, it was joint tenants in common. Remember all that, learning that way back then? We're not really concerned with that. What we are concerned with is all this information underneath here. So there's the first transfer. The second one you can see was transferred for $996,000. So that's the sale of the property in 2016 there. And then you can see there was a charge on the property the same date. So we got a mortgage on the property for $700,000. Can you see what happened in 2019, a couple of years later, for $300,000? Nicole's saying yes. So most likely a second mortgage for $300,000 got put on that property, which means there might be $1 million worth of mortgages on that property. Now, we've had some mortgage pay down, I would assume, but it might be 100, no, it wouldn't be that, probably about $75,000 at best at the beginning there. But these are all those questions that you have to start asking yourself and asking the seller perhaps. The next line here where it says $13,300, that's a registered company. That's where we got to start digging a little bit deeper. And what this is saying here is exactly it. So it gives you a little brief. When you order one of these, it won't have all of these nice little green tabs. This is just for us today. What that's saying here is that $13,000 is perhaps a furnace that's on a rent-to-own program, or something that's on a rent-to-own program, okay? So that's important to take note of. You'll also see perhaps in that same line, it'll come up very similar, is perhaps a construction lien on the property. We've seen that in the past, right? Where somebody goes and works on the property, doesn't get paid on the property, and then puts a lien on the property for the amount of that quote or the invoice. Okay, that's where this shows up as well. Or it might just say, with no dollar value, this registered company has an interest in the property. So that might come up as well. And who knows what that is? Who knows what that is? The last one here for $9,100. And this is one that we're going to talk about in just a moment. Everyone can see that? The Minister of National what? Revenue, the CRA, our good friends, our good partners. They will also put things on title for non-payment of taxes and likewise. So it's really, really important to not only be able to understand how to read this, but to also figure out what's going on with that home and that seller, right? We could go look at probably 50 or 60 sellers today, and it won't be, we won't have a scenario like this. But there's always that one, right? And if you don't know how to do it, you could be, that might be something you walk away from. Well, what the purpose of this is just to provide a little insight on how to purchase that parcel register, how to read it. And if there are times where I'm looking at this, and it might take me 3 or 4 times to read it to really understand the flow, because the other weird thing too is, and I think this is just a quirk in it, sometimes the dates don't line up, so now you got to go back and forth and move things around and do some math yourself there. So you got to do that. Should you need to pull one, go pull it. Should you need a little assistance in reading it and analyzing it, I'm happy to do so. Give me a call, and I'm happy to help you with that. Or of course, talk to Nicole, and at the very least, talk to your favorite solicitor that'll walk you through that as well, right? But that's how you do it. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from that. Let's talk about something else that comes up from time to time, not so much around, we'll call it the metropolitan areas, but perhaps in cottage country. And I'm bringing this up too because maybe out in the Wyerton area where Terry Hastings' team is, they may see this. There is more and more people talking about tax sales, because we just talked about people not paying their taxes, and that can show up. So how does a tax sale happen? I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I do have a story to go along with it. Jen knows all about it. And a tax sale is simply where, and I'll use the town of Newmarket as an example. The town of Newmarket has the right to sell a property within its town. Why? Because the owner has decided not to pay the property taxes. And usually it's after about 3 years is when they start this process. It can go much longer than that as well. So that's it, starting to come more and more. We see all that in cottage country, especially on vacant land. But we are seeing it just pop up around, those tertiary markets a little bit. All the liens on the property are removed. So all those liens, all those mortgages that we previously saw, or any sort of other lien on the property, they don't get paid out. All the town is concerned about is recouping their property tax, their loss of property tax. Except for our favorite partners, CRA liens. And why is that important? Well, let me tell you a little story time. So some of you that have been around the Newmarket area for an awful long time meaning back to 2009, there was a very nice large property in Newmarket that went up for sale as a tax sale. And I got really excited. Because it was in a neighborhood, Stonehaven, as some of you might know, that community. And I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, this is I gotta start asking questions around this. This is pretty interesting. And what happens is you have a public tender, as you can see here, and there's a minimum bid, and that minimum bid will cover the property taxes as well as any legal costs that the town may have to dispose of this property. And in this case, it was $64,000. Can you imagine buying any sort of property in Stonehaven at any time in our lifetime for $64,000? No. You get pretty excited, right? Of course, it's a closed public tender, so you submit your offer in a sealed envelope and that's it. And, you know, obviously it was going to sell for much more than that. Fair market value at the time was probably about $650,000. Why I tell this story is because I thought to myself, I'm going to pull the title and I'm going to see what's registered on the property. So I did. No mortgage. Excellent. CRA lien. Ooh, CRA lien for $404,000. So there were people I know of in this area looking to purchase that property and provide an offer on the property that did not have that information. So it's important to pull that information. Now, what that means is the winner bid of that property would have to pay the $64,000 above, as well as whatever money they were providing, maybe it's $300,000-$400,000 or more, as well as the $404,000 CRA lien. So if you didn't have that information, you could have overpaid for this property by a few $100,000. Now, the story, and I got a boring end of the story. Obviously, I walked away from it from that perspective, but it was a good learning opportunity. The owner of the property decided to pay the property tax, and I don't know what happened with the CRA lien. I have no idea, but they brought the property tax up to date, which meant the town had nothing to do with it anymore, okay? But there, obviously, you need to be able to prove that you can do your due diligence and do the due diligence, right? These are important things to do. We're not gonna see this. We're not gonna see, why are we not gonna see this in our larger markets? Why wouldn't we see this? Here's my thoughts on it, is because our realtors like Stuart are going to get the property before the town does, right? If there's a mortgage on the property, there's no way, shape, or form that that bank is allowing that property to go to a tax sale. That's why we don't see them around this area so much. But as we get out into those smaller markets where perhaps they've owned the property for many years with no mortgage, that's where you start to see it. So if people ask you, Garrett, like, just tax sales. I saw a webinar on how to buy tax sales. Well, yeah, I'm sure you did, but where those are happening are outside those tertiary markets. Like, what's even less than tertiary? I can't even think of it. Even like way up north, that type of thing. So that's why we don't see it down here as often. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, liens and beans. Oh, Gare. Sometimes I make myself laugh. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, that kind of wraps us up for today. We do have, no, I'm lying. I have lying through my teeth. Our WhatsApp group, I'm going to move forward here a bit. For the love of real estate, this is a big event that's coming on April 17th. And please, please, please do yourself a favor and attend this. Jay Papazan, as we mentioned earlier, and maybe more importantly, Jeff Glover.
Coming to add to this.
Okay, good. Hi, Jen. Welcome. Jeff Glover. So Abe talked about as a leader, and even if you are an individual agent, you are a leader. You're the leader of your business. Jeff, who will sell, his team will sell 2,000 plus units every year. What does he do almost every day? Lead gen. He speaks from the heart and he walks his talk. Jen.
Yeah, I was just going to add to it that they are the keynote speakers, as well as Virginia Munden, who started the Buzz Conference. She was also going to be a keynote speaker. There are also panels happening throughout the day as well around the keynote speakers, and both Tracy Kirstein from our brokerage and Terry Hastings from our brokerage are on panels at this event. So not only should you go there for the education, but also we want to support our agents as they make big waves and get recognized for their success in the industry as well. So I just wanted to add that.
I would have missed that, Jen. Thank you. Yeah, always good to support.
You can go to the QR code right there and register online. It's also on Eventbrite, or you can just message me and we'll take care of it for you.
Excellent, excellent. All right, this is great. Why don't you introduce the next speaker?
I don't think I need to. Our logo
Okay.
is like Starbucks. You see it and you just.
I love it. Okay, Dylan, you should be up here already.
I
That was golden.
Let's
I
go.
love it. I love it. It's always, I get to hear the success stories from Dylan and the coaching team. And let me tell you, my friends, sometimes we don't share our success stories enough, but I love hearing what's going on in the program.
We're about ready to wrap up. I was almost going to be like, Gary, I'm back here. Let me talk for a little bit. But I'll make it quick, everybody. What I just want to make sure that you're getting from me today is the awareness of all the resources that the office is pouring into you guys and the stuff that we're doing every single day to make sure we can support you in your business. This morning we had an amazing panel on the listing consultation with Megan, Wayne, and Gary. We pulled back the curtain to see what other realtors are doing at their listing consultations when they're sitting down in the kitchen with a client, and it was fantastic stuff. There is a recording of it. If you weren't able to attend or watch online, reach out to me or reach out to Jen. We'll make sure that we get you a recording of it. This afternoon, we have an amazing lead generation panel going on, so please stick around and attend that. And I want to give a quick shout out to Nicole and Colin. We talk about this all the time. Proximity is power, and those that you're around can help you, and you can help each other. And you know, with 17 years of doing this, we've met a ton of mortgage brokers, right? And mortgage brokers are our friend, they're our allies, they help us get transactions done. And Nicole has been so helpful in the brokerage, and we've been starting to work together a lot more, that as I was getting ready to head down to family reunion, I had one of my favorite clients tell me one of my least favorite things, saying that they want to work directly with the bank for their financing, which personally, from experience, I've found it's hard to get communication from. I don't always hear back, especially evenings and weekends. I don't have a personal relationship there with somebody that I trust. If we're going into multiple offers, can we go firm? And can I truly tell my client that I feel safe in them doing that? Do I want to have sleepless nights? So as I'm getting ready to board the plane, I reach out to Nicole. It happened to be 8 o'clock at night, the evening before. Nicole, I'm not saying that everybody should call her at 8 o'clock at night, but what I can tell you is she picked up the phone. She picked up the phone. We hadn't had any prior conversations about this client or ever really about working together other than how we support the agents at the office. She answered the call, answered some questions. I sent over a pre-approval that my clients had already received from RBC or something like that. And she gave great feedback on it. I relayed that to my clients. I said, wow, that's fantastic information. Thank you so much. And I said, you guys, it's up to you who you decide to work with, but I strongly encourage you to sit down with Nicole just for an afternoon and see what she has to say, see if she can help you. She's going to give you a little bit more insight. And at the very least, you've now got a second opinion, so you guys are prepared. Well, I'm down in Vegas learning and having a great time. Nicole does the appointment with my clients. They rave about her. They said they got so much out of the meeting and the information that they got that they felt very comfortable with her. We went ahead, continued our search, and just like Nicole mentioned, it's important to follow up with your mortgage broker on different properties that you might be submitting offers in on. And one of the great lessons even prior to that was my guys had been approved, pre-approved up to 1.2. And after sitting down and talking with Nicole, she's like, that's a bit of a stretch. You know, I don't think that they're actually going to get pre-approved at 1.2. Not even, you're talking about the pre-fund audit, but I'm talking to you about at commitment papers. It's just not even going to happen, right? So she saved us a lot of headache and trouble just from that simple thing of being like, hey, just watch your numbers. We had submitted on a couple of properties. We updated on one that we ended up being in competition on. And she said, okay, this is a number that I feel confident that you guys are able to go firm. My clients felt very comfortable with that information as well. So now client and agent and mortgage broker are all on the same side, all on the same page about what we can do and what that allows, because we're a big referral team in terms of that's where we generate our business from, and a lot of that comes from experience. Now, if that experience that we were going through with them was like, ooh, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't, I feel a little worse, and we're building anxiety into the process, it's a very different experience than when you can say, man, I feel great. I've spoken with 2 fantastic professionals. I feel really strong about this. Like when I ask them, because I want to make sure that they're comfortable with doing it, they're like, no, we talked to Nicole. We're good. We feel absolutely secure in what we're doing. And we ended up getting the house, and everybody's happy, and we're going through that process together. But what I want you to take away from that as well is like, I hope you have amazing mortgage brokers. If you don't, definitely reach out to Nicole. And if you just want to try somebody new, reach out to Nicole. This isn't anything bad about mortgage brokers that I've worked with in the past. I still have those relationships. I'm still going to send them business. But Nicole was there for me when I needed her, and she was an absolute professional all the way through. So I highly recommend that you give her a go. And then in terms of resources that the office is providing for you, and if you're not taking advantage of them, that's okay. But if you want to, please just find me. We've got tons of them, and we're constantly pouring into you guys. And I want to thank Colin and Gary for bringing Abe on today, because he shared something that we firmly believe in it with PSN coaching, is owning the morning. So we have every day, Monday to Friday, we have a morning kickstart call from 9 to 9:30 that helps you get set up for your day. Each of our days of the week are focused on something different, but at the end of every call, we set your intentions for the day so that it is a productive day, and you're not just kind of coasting through your business, but you're owning the day and you're tackling it. And just to share some of the information that we've gone over on a lot of that, because Nicole is now offered up her time, and she's coming in on Thursday mornings with us as well to talk about the financing side. So here's just some of the topics that we've been covering on those morning calls. And Mike is our other coach in the program who's been doing the morning calls for like 3 years straight now. The man is an absolute animal at making sure that he's committed to you there Monday to Friday. We talked about dominating mindshare within your database, so that how you make sure that people in your database are constantly thinking about you, because we know, Gary, other people are calling and talking to them. So how do we make sure that we're showing up? Nicole is helping us find potential challenges before the lending file even gets to the lender. So we're talking about different conversations and questions you should be asking your clients to make sure we avoid that before it gets to the under, and especially acknowledging what is actually helpful and what is just creative advertising on certain parties. We talked about how to handle negotiations when you have unrealistic sellers, managing client expectations, and of course, that pre-fund audit that happens sometimes just a week before closing, so that we can avoid any stress and make sure that your clients are having a fantastic experience. I'll get out of here with one last thing. Tomorrow we have an amazing mastermind called Going Further Together. It's me, Nicole, Christina, and Mike that are hosting them. Last month, we gave away 5 of the KW playbooks. So we did a door knocking playbook, a social media playbook, a database playbook, on and on. And tomorrow, as we talk about converting conversations to appointments and some of the changes that we're seeing in buyer compensation down in the South, we're also giving away a 60-point touch plan. So highly encourage that you guys check us out. psncoaching.com/kickstart, or just call me directly and I'll make sure that you're on there.
Before you go,
Yeah.
morning calls. Is
Yes.
that for everyone?
That is open to everybody. Anybody, you don't have to be in the coaching program in any way, but the coaching program is open to all of you anyways, but you can drop in and out. The whole point is it's open to everybody in the brokerage, and we just want you guys to start your day with consistency and intention so that you're purposeful as you go out and grow your business. Thank you, Colin. Beautiful. Gary.
Excellent. Well, that sounds like a great spot to wrap us up in. And I appreciate, yep, thanks, Dylan. Join that. That's all I got to say. Join that. Thanks to Abe and to Mike and to,
Sorry.
what's that?
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Just so that you can get it for anybody who's online as well. I don't think I told you guys this, but I'm the mortgage partner for that April 17th event. I have a bunch of tickets. For anybody who does want, I'm willing to give away 3 tickets to any of our groups. So if you guys are interested, reach out to me. It saves you guys $300. So,
Okay, so what Nicole's just offered up, and they're already gone, I think, but that's so gracious of you, Nicole, to provide an opportunity for our agents to attend for the Love of Real Estate event. Nicole is the mortgage broker at that event. Reach out to Nicole. She has a couple of tickets available. Some are going right now, but definitely reach out to Nicole. My friends, this is going to wrap us up at our March meeting. We'll see everyone tomorrow night at our gala, and thanks for tuning and joining us. Bye for now.